Easter Games. The engines in the sheds were excited. It was Easter, and they were all looking forward to it. Just then, the Fat Controller arrived. "Today at Walsworth Station," he said, "there ought to be some Easter Games there," he said. "One of yous will collect passengers or refreshments and deliveries there, just in case the winner gets there soon enough," he said. Then he had a special assignment for Layla. "You will collect the Easter games from the docks," he said. "Yes, sir," said Layla. And the Fat Controller walked away, and Layla puffed away feeling very excited. Then all the other engines were excited about the Easter Games, as Layla is. But they all had to do what the Fat Controller said. They collected deliveries, parcels, and also passengers at the same time. They were all excited and couldn't even wait for Layla much longer, but they had to go on. Until at last, all the engines were excited. "We better hope Layla comes here," said Thomas, "before the Easter Games will start. Maybe she will succeed before the Easter Games starts here," said Edward. Or maybe she will succeed when she takes all the special deliveries here, especially if she proves herself," said Whiff. "She is improving herself well, you know," said Nert. She has also done very good at shunting. Perhaps the Fat Controller will congratulate her." The other engines agreed. They were all very excited about Layla's events, and they were also excited about the events of the Easter Games. Until meanwhile, Layla was making up for lost time. She had picked up all the deliveries from the docks and were shoved into some boxcars. Layla didn't mind that at all. She began to enjoy herself. "Must make it to the Easter Games at Walsworth Station," she thought. "Maybe we'll make it in time," said her driver. "But don't worry, they'll start when we get there." But Layla was worried. As Layla was puffing up the hill, she tried to climb, but she was still stubborn. "I must get up," she said. At last she did it, but she had spoken too soon. Then there was trouble. Her safety valve burst, and Layla stopped. Soon she began to wonder why. Her driver told her, and she felt sad. "We'll never make it to the Easter Games in time," she said sadly. "Don't worry," said her driver. I'm going to go into town and find the nearest phone box," he said. Then they did, but Layla was still worried. It wasn't too long until Layla heard an engine's whistle. Backing towards Layla up the hill was Sir Handel. "What?" said Layla. "Driver, fireman," she said after she saw her driver and fireman sticking out of Sir Handel's cab. "I came to help," said Sir Handel. "We better not be late." "Thank you, Sir Handel," said Layla. "I don't know what I would do without you. Maybe we should call that stupid superstition," said Sir Handel, and buffered up to Layla. The two were coupled, and Sir Handel set off to take Layla to Walsworth Station. Layla was worried that the Easter Games might start without her and Sir Handel, but Sir Handel had already told Layla not to worry. "We're there!" shouted Sir Handel. "Really?" said Layla. There he was, looking at Mighty Mac, Boko, Thomas and Edward amongst all of the other engines in front. At last, Sir Handel had pulled Layla and the special to Wellsworth Station. "We were worried you wouldn't make it," said Thomas, "but you've carried on." "Yes," said Layla, "and I couldn't have done this thanks to Sir Handel." "And indeed you couldn't," said a voice. It was the Fat Controller. "Now, let the Easter Games begin." With that, the boxcars were unloaded and the Easter Games at Wellsworth were continuing. A few moments after the Easter Games were over, the Fat Controller came to congratulate Layla. "I'm very proud of you," he said. Your driver told me you had burst a safety valve, but let's not worry about that. You will be taken to the works tomorrow," he said. "Then you will come back in service again, if you promise not to be too cheeky again." "I won't, sir," said Layla. "I promise. I've never been cheekier now." With that, the Fat Controller decided. "In that day on," he said, "you, Layla, are the winner of the Easter Games. 3 cheers for Layla." All the engines whistled as Boko and Stafford honked their horns. "Well done, Layla," said Sir Handel. "You did very well." Yes, said Layla, smiling happily. I couldn't have done it without you, but I'm happy my dedication is allowed here again." Well done, said the Fat Controller. "You, Layla, are a credit to my railway."